Okay, today I am going to speak with you about email messages, lesson 25. Notice that I am in GDP, unit 5. I am going to lesson 25. You should have already completed lesson 21 through 24. There were some updates posted on Blackboard as well as your GDP email system. Now we are going to get into email messages, and your goal for this lesson is correctly use Word's email feature, correctly format an email message. Click an exercise in the menu to the left to open it and begin your work, or click next to go to the first exercise of the lesson. Please remember that you must have your keyboarding textbook and your Word manual. In this case, it's 2007 Word manual. And I am going to demonstrate 25E, basic parts of an email message. Now, an email is similar to a memo. A memo is an inter-office memorandum. An email is an electronic memo, and that can be sent inter-office or outside of the office. There are very important components of an email. You will always have two. It states where the email is going, so who you are sending it to. It will be your recipient. And it is usually separated. If you're sending multiple, this email to multiple people, it is usually separated by a semicolon or comma. You will have a subject line. The subject line needs to contain a descriptive name for the message, typed with upper and lowercase letters. You will have a greeting, a friendly greeting that you put in yourself, followed by a colon. The body, that's the message of the email, short lines and paragraphs and plain text, what you want to say in your email. The sender's name, that will be your name, sender's first name or last name, first and last name. Now, if it's a personal email, you don't necessarily have to put your first and last name. You can just put your first name. Some people do not put their first name if it's a personal email, because their email address may indicate who it's from. Now, if you have an email address for a personal purpose, if you have an email address that is a cute slogan or some type of personal email, Bama girl or Bama guy, and your recipient will not know it's from you, then you should include your name at the bottom of your email. Then there's the writer's identification, writer's identity, and contact information as known as a signature in some email software. Now, when you are doing business, and we are working on business correspondence, you can put your name, first and last name, your company, and your title, as well as your address, phone number, fax number, or even email address. On my email, I do have my name and my position or my title, my phone number, and the company's name. Okay, so now let's get into the lesson. We want to click the next button, and it gives you very important information about formatting emails. Use the address book feature or type the email address of each recipient in the to. The CC is a carbon copy that can be sent to someone. BCC is blind carbon copy. This means that the person you send blind carbon copy will not see who else is included on the email. And the person that you send to, they will not see that you have blind carbon copy somebody else on the email. Let's say, for instance, you send a email to your instructor, and then you BCC yourself. So your instructor will not see that you blind carbon copied yourself on the email, or if you blind carbon copy another instructor, the instructor will not see the blind carbon copy. But on the CC, the person that you're sending it to and the person that you CC'd will see that you have sent it to the instructor and another person. That's what CC, carbon copy, and BCC, blind carbon copy, mean. A semicolon or colon is usually automatically inserted to separate several names, and most of the time the software will do that for you. And if you're using the reply feature, you have the option of including the original message, or you can choose not to include the original message. And always use a descriptive for your subject line. Let your reader know what the email is about. If you have attachments, you may click on the attachment option and attach a file or an image. You can use a friendly greeting, hi, or good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. Keep your paragraph short and to the point. Type with the normal capitalization and punctuation. Typing in all caps is shouting. I know that a lot of people will text in all caps, but texting in all caps and typing in all caps is considered to be negative information. It just seems like you're shouting or mad. Type paragraph single space and do not indent your paragraphs. That is called, when you're creating a Word document, that is called a block style. You will press enter 2 times between paragraphs only. Do not press enter when you see a line break in the text. After the last paragraph, press enter twice, and the remaining steps will vary depending on your email program. You can type your name first. You can type your first name only for a friendlier closing, or type both your first and last name for a more business-like closing. Then you can enter 2 times. Type your email address, press enter, and type your home phone number as shown in the example. And that's to give your recipient your contact information. Please spell check and proofread. If it is your personal email that you're sending to a friend and you want to abbreviate words or abbreviate your text, that's fine. But if you are sending something official and it's business related and it should be professional, please spell check, please proofread, and please preview your document for spelling and formatting errors. Type all email messages using standard email format, and in this book you will type only the email, greeting, body, and closing for all emails. And refer to the model document on page 84, and that will be in your typing book, model on 84. Yeah, I'm going to click next. And study lesson 25 in your Word manual. That's page 37 in your Word manual. It's actually 37, 38, 39, 40, and 41. That's in your Word manual. Follow all of the practice steps to complete this exercise. Click the next to proceed to document processing for the lesson. So email a document and GDP reference manual. You have now completed all the orientation lessons in your Word manual and have a good overview of basic word processing features. The practice exercises you will complete from this point forward will prepare you to use a specific word processing feature for a particular document processing job in your textbook. You will read about the feature in your Word manual, practice it, and then return to your textbook to type a related document processing job. Start the practice exercise. Study lesson 25, email messages in your Word manual. Then complete this practice exercise as directed in the Word manual. From this point forward, always read the related formatting sections for the lesson you are working on before beginning any practice exercise. Click the Start Work button to open the practice file automatically in Word. Follow the steps to complete the practice exercise. When you're finished, say the file is directed by your instructor or what's in the book. Practice exercise files are not stored in the GDP software. Each time you click the Start Work button, you will open a fresh copy of the file. So make sure you have your manual. And we are going to click on Start Work. And it downloaded very quickly right here, Practice 25. And I am opening it. Remember, we have that protected view. Click on Enable. Now, this is our document. And it is telling us click the list arrow next to the quick access toolbar and more commands from the bottom part of the drop down menu. In the Word options window from the left pane, click Customize ribbon. In the right pane, in the Choose Commands from list box, click the list arrow, click All Commands. We're looking for All Commands. Scroll down the list and click Send to Mail Recipient. So we are looking for Send to Mail. And remember, Microsoft does a very good job of alphabetizing things. So if you just go down, scroll until you get to the S, the section where the S commands are located, and we are looking for Send to Mail Recipient. Scroll just a little more, and let's see here. Oh, let's keep in mind, I apologize, I am on 2016, so this is going to be my send email messages. Also send to mail recipient. And I am going to click this. And it wants me to add it. Add. Oh, okay. So I need to add it to a tab to customize the ribbon. I am going to add it to, actually, I can add it to, I'm going to add it to the quick access toolbar. Here in the side, on the side, it's telling us to add it to the quick access toolbar, but your directions are saying to remove it from the quick access toolbar. Let's add it to, we are going to add it to the quick access toolbar. Let me go back. All commands. Search for it again. Send email message to quick access toolbar. Customize my quick access toolbar. Click OK. Now it is available here. And then it tells you how to remove it. You go back through the same process to remove it. You would go back to more commands, take this and remove it. In this case, I will keep it on. Okay, now it is gray out. Okay, it's grayed out. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's go back and make some adjustments. I apologize. More commands. I selected the wrong thing. Let me get rid of send email message, remove it. I did find send to mail recipient. It was one step down. Here, all commands. We will send email message, and a few commands down was send to mail recipient. I apologize. Let's click OK. Now we are here. We are going to click send to mail recipient, and it opens up as an email. So this is your email header. It appears at the top of the document that the subject box contains the document file name. Right here, your subject box, document file name. Fill in the email header boxes as desired, replacing the document's name that appears by default in the subject box with the desired subject name. Click send a copy to send the email. Close the document. Okay, so I am going to send it to myself, and you can send it to yourself as well. And lesson 25, email messages. I think it is very important that you always include a subject for your email. I receive tons of emails as an instructor, and I have no idea what they are talking about. It's usually a reply from something that I have sent, and that subject does not apply to what's in the email. Okay. And we are going to, once we do that, we're going to click on send a copy. So we sent the copy and it's gone. And it tells us to close the document. Okay. I don't want to save. Okay. Alright, to open the desired Word file, click the Microsoft Office button, point to the arrow next to send, and click email. So if I had a document, now this is my 2016 Microsoft Word, so things look different than 2007 and the manual. So I can go back to this document, click on share, click email, send as an attachment. I can also send this as a PDF. A PDF is a portable document file, which means it's easy to open. If people do not have Microsoft Word, they can open it as a PDF, but they must have Adobe Reader to do so. So I can send this as an attachment. And it brings me back to my email client. And I will open this as lesson 25 email messages and send. Okay, page 39. From now on, before you complete any practice exercise, first read the related formatting section in your textbook in preparation for the practice exercise document. Okay, we are going to press enter to insert blank lines in practice 25 as many times as needed to arrange the email message in correct format as shown in lesson 25F. Click directly before uploading in the first paragraph. So I am going to place my insertion point here. The blinky line is called the insertion point. Place my insertion point here. Okay, then type this paragraph, then press enter 2 times. So I am going to type the paragraph that's on page 39. My fingers must be asleep this morning. Okay, now I have typed that paragraph. It tells me to enter 2 times. All right, now what this did was to give me a blank line in between each one of my paragraphs. In typing, that is called double spacing. I notice also in my diagram that I should have a blank line after high students. I will go to the end of high students after the colon and press enter. That gives me a blank line there. In Word, this is important to know. Lines wrap automatically to a second line as you approach the right margin. Do not press enter when you see a line break in the copy to be typed, which inserts a hard return and focuses an incorrect line break. Press enter only between paragraphs, not within a paragraph. So if you notice my right margin, these lines are jagged. They are not lined up, and it's okay because I have a word wrap. So you noticed I typed that paragraph and I didn't press the enter key. It automatically went to the next line. That is your word wrap. Now your left margin, everything is going to be lined up on the left margin. Notice that everything is lined up nice and neatly. That's your left margin. It is okay to have ragged edges or hanging edges on your right margin. Now I want you to click on the Show Hide button. to view the formatting marks which indicate a hard return. Your document should look like the one that follows. If your line endings are different, remove any unwanted hard returns. I keep my show hide button on all the time because I like to make sure that I space. If you notice while I was typing, after the period behind the word me, I almost spaced twice. Actually, I think I did space twice and I backspaced. I am an old typist. I learned very, very, very long ago. And it used to be you space 2 times after a period. Now the new way of typing, you only space once. So what I do is I keep that show hide character on so it lets me know where I have spaced. Every little dot is a space in between a word. Every little backwards P looks like maybe. That indicates I pressed the return key. So here's your button. It is on your home tab. It's in your paragraph group and it's right here. It's called show hide. Show paragraph marks and other hidden formatting symbols. Now while I have your attention with that, it also lets you know when you press the tab key. I just pressed the tab key and you see it gave me an arrow. Tabbing is 0.5 from the left margin by default. So I press the tab key again. That takes me to 1 inch. I started here. That's 0.5. Another 0.5 is 1 inch. So I will take that back. Now I do know that there are a lot of people that will do this to get to the center. That is not correct. I can turn that show hide character on and I will see that you press the space bar to try to get to the center. We'll delete that, add my paragraph symbol back, and click directly after me, just before the period at the end of the first sentence, and type this. So I'm going to click here, dash dash, and that needs to be a space, then a dash, then a space. The sooner the better, and your period. Notice that after you type both hyphens followed by the and then the space bar, you press the space bar, a solid formatted dash appears. Your word processing software will do that for you automatically. Click directly after the last character in the email address and press enter. This is the last character in the email address. I am pressing enter. Now notice that the email address is converted to a hyperlink. When you have a email address or a web address and you press enter, it will default to a hyperlink. The default color is blue with an underline. If you go in your document and you add a theme where you can change the colors, if you have a theme and you can change the colors, sometimes that hyperlink will take the color inside the theme. So I can't say it's always going to be blue and underlined, but it's most definitely going to be underlined as an email address and underlined as a web address, but not always blue. Majority of the time it will be blue, but if there is a theme inside your document, it could possibly take the color of the theme. All right, let me go back to my home tab. We are going to type this on the line below the email address. We are adding a phone number, and I am spacing twice after a colon. Okay, so you can send this. Well, we need to add a little more space. It did not tell us to enter, we are going to take our insertion point before professor, press the enter key. That spaces that out some. You can look at your diagram on page 40. Okay, now here, this is what it's going to look like. I will change my zoom so you can see. The next step, step 8, with your instructor's permission, follow the steps on page 38 to send an open Word document as the actual email message. And we will do that by clicking on Send to Recipient right here on our Quick Access toolbar. Okay, and now who are we sending it to? You may send it to me. That is Depeasant, DEPEASANT at jeffersonstate.edu. We are going to change the file name, delete this. I am pressing my backspace keys to delete. And we will change it to weekly announcement, keyboarding, online. And this is where the way your message should look. You are going to send it to me. This is your subject. And that's what it looks like. Click the Send a Copy button. And you just sent me an email. And that is the end of lesson 25. Thank you for listening.